So hi everybody and welcome back. This is a video about my Porsche RSR R6. It was a 1974 Porsche that raced at Le Mans. Le Mans 74 did not make this great race, I think she retired during the race. But it is the final build of my racing kit in a 1/24 scale to convert a Fujimi enthusiast model, any of them. As you see, don't look at the empty booze of Jack Daniels, but like that one, enthusiast model 911 Carrera from Fujimi, or like up that one, near to Scrat, there is the reissue. And basically this is the build I made of my model using the Viceroy decals. I made this kit in racing during 2023, and it is available with both the decal of the blue Sunoco American car and this Café Mexicano Viceroy cigarettes, I like the tobacco version, so I wanted to build up one demo version of my model, and it's basically quite simple, it fits pretty easy over the chassis of the Fujimi. For this particular model I didn't use one of the model I showed with you. That is the one that I suggest to people, to modelers, to use during the build, because the modification of the body it was created by myself over a Fujimi. And the reason is why I choose that model, because Fujimi is the only kit around that is featuring the pre-bumper 911S. So the pre-bumper, it was the version used in the 70s with the arrow integrated in the front, not integrated in the front bumper. The following versions had a different line on the bonnet. It ends before, and it was a little different on this area, so the arrow is integrated in the lower part, something like that, to have an idea. As you see, the arrow is integrated in the front bumper. The same is on the back of the car. This Viceroy version was hugely different for the complete body shape that was enlarged, so they basically started using an RS version and probably made all the rear part of the car, real car in fiberglass. And I made it everything in scratch, to recreate this shape. Plus they featured this strange little rear wing, where I also added the 3D printed by KMP, very skilled guy, Andrea, one of the best in my opinion, making this stuff. So there is that little 3D printed grill up there that makes quite well his work, so it's really nicely looking, quite easy to fit also inside the model. You had to do this grill without the real part of the model, so it was quite precise anyway, and the rest is absolutely easy. This is basically a model that I built up using a scrapped part of other racing 911. It's enough that you find a racing interior. I think this one was coming from a 934. Don't remember it properly, but I had the scrapped parts from 911, so I wanted to use this. And I also added the front extra light that were present in Le Mans race, the two extra light with the CBA decal. They are all decal provided in my kit, You find all the prices in my website, assoldatino.com. There is always a downloadable PDF catalog, so you can have an idea of what I produce and then the prices that I have, and constantly send anyway an email for confirmation about the order that you are going to place, and what do you intend to buy, because sometimes these items are not available. This is just temporary productions, they are raising, so they are available time by time, and very often when the production is expired, I don't plan the new issue of the model for a quite long period, That's it. What I did basically was to concentrate myself over smaller detail, like for example the wheels, the typical writings for the direction. Plus I had a little micro valve. Those are items that you cannot, you cannot make them in racing, because they will not, they probably will not be casted properly, but it's very easy to add. Also the Goodyear decals are very easy to apply, and this model have the tires that are made, as you can see, don't have any grip, because the wheels are made in resin. So this is the resin tire that I provide together with my kit. So in the model you will have basically the main body shell, the wing, the wheels with the proper rims. So, you know, the rims are coming from 917. It was the same sprocket wheel, 5 sprocket wheel from the 917 with the different channel. Of course, the channel was enhanced, and basically fits absolutely easy over any Fujimi model. But as I constantly say, also I think to any other racing model that you have. So if you have some version of the usual 934, we have millions of 934, you can use one of them and simply change the body, you know, to make something a little bit different, you know. The car is this. I also added the extra lights on the roof. This car had a lot of extra light, you know, for the Le Mans race. So 2 extra in the front, which I don't provide in the kit because for the Sunoco version, for example, you don't need such one. In many races they didn't use it, as well as the little light on the roof, but they are very, very easy to find. You know, I found them from leftover parts from track and reshaped them and repainted in chrome. And other small details have been added, like the front wipers and minor tags, you know. So the front hatches from the bonnet are coming from photo etch set. There is a lot of company that do that, like extra detail set. You know, it's something that I cannot add in my model because they are too little, and I should add photo etch set that will increase and even further the price of the model. You know, the decals are quite convincing. You see there is no big crack of the film. I didn't make that ugly glossy painting over, you know, because I don't like glossy model, and this was a car from the 70s. So I think it's extremely convincing, you know, Mexican car. You know, it was extremely particular, you know, because they have a different decal from the left and the right side. You know, in one side there is the number tag 46, and in the other there was this tag. That was quite complicated, and constantly thank you to Jeremy Banks that helps me in finding the proper decal and the proper logos, you know, for this very rare Porsche. This is unique model, you know. Nobody at today ever made the R6, and I think is extremely convincing. Basically, this car raced with the Viceroy version, the Sunoco version, and the Martini livery, you know. And I just made the first two and not the Martini version, so it's just available in 2 of the 3 livery that she ever used, you know. That's it. I think it's really convincing like a model, you know, and I see that a lot of modelers like this unique item, you know. Nobody ever made it before, also because it's quite complicated to have the proper body, you know. You have to start from an RS, ordinary Fujimi RS body, pre-bumper car, then you have to make the enlargement to obtain the RSR. If you don't get already a racing RSR like the one made by was that, I think, Profil or Le Mans Miniature or Scale Production as a copy. You know, there was somebody making the RSR ordinary Martini Targa Florio version 73, and then you have to modify all the rear part, you know, all the rear hatch and the rear part of the model. I hope to show you properly how it looks, you know. Yeah, the exhausts are really hidden down there. You just see the decal of Cafe Mexicano and all this rear part of the spoiler that was a kind of wing that they had to use in the 70s to avoid that the Porsche flip up with the nose, you know. This was famous to, you know, in every picture is constantly climbed up, you know. So it was a problem probably of that type of car. That's why in the following version they enhanced a lot the wings and the spoiler in the racing Porsches, you know. I think it's a very, very nice model. Mythical pilots, you know, Hector Rabach, Van Brennen, Royals. So it's an interesting car. It's a very, very interesting model in my opinion. I hope you like it. I hope you will build it and enjoy it like I did. And the model is currently available together with decals. You know, there is still some available, so book your one if you like it. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.